What if the entire United Kingdom vanished beneath the waves? In this hyper-realistic AI disaster simulation, a mega-tsunami forms deep in the Atlantic and begins its unstoppable march toward Britain. The first waves slam into the east coast with unimaginable force, submerging towns, tearing through cities, and sweeping across the countryside. Within minutes, the wall of water surges across the nation, flooding everything in its path until it crashes into the western shores and beyond. Iconic landmarks disappear beneath the surface. London, Manchester, Liverpool, Edinburgh, drowned in minutes. Power grids fail. Communication goes dark. Emergency services are overwhelmed. The UK becomes an underwater graveyard as the ocean claims the land from coast to coast. Captured from satellite views, drone-style flyovers, and cinematic ground-level shots, this VO3 AI-generated video visualizes a terrifying what-if scenario. What would happen if a tsunami truly consumed an entire country? Would there be any survivors? This isn't just a wave. It's a world-ending flood. Witness the storm. Brace for impact. Great Britain lies spread out before us on our map here. A series of large swells is approaching the eastern coastline. These swells will soon begin to break, and the first images we have are of a small coastal town. We're getting reports of missing ships that were anchored off the coast earlier, reports of people disappearing in the surf. Cars are being swept away from the beach as the first wave hits. It's not quite the full force of the tsunami yet, just a bit of wind snatching up sand from the beaches, but things will rapidly intensify. The sea is surging forward. Let's get closer to see how these initial waves affect the shoreline. Wave after wave, the sea recedes, exposing previously underwater sand and rock formations. Houses built right on the edge of the cliffs look precariously close to the next wave. One wrong move and they'll be gone. Then it hits. The full force of the tsunami strikes and our camera gets knocked over. We try to stand back up, but it's impossible. The water pressure is immense. This is what it might look like to be caught on the shore when the wave hits. People desperately trying to outrun the water. Others praying they won't get pulled under. As the wave crashes onto the beach, debris flies everywhere. This must be what a tidal wave feels like. How could anyone survive this? The water recedes once again. It's almost as if the sea itself is taking a breath before it delivers the knockout blow. Our camera crew tries to scramble out of the danger zone, but there's nowhere to go. Another wave is coming, and it's much larger than the last. This one could be the big one. This is the moment of impact. The sheer force of the water is devastating. Debris from the homes mixes with the incoming tide. Our camera is ripped from its mount and tossed around in the surf. This is what it sounds like. Dozens of cars and trucks are swept away, pushed further and further inland. Homes are completely submerged, but some still stand. The question is, are they still habitable? For how long can someone survive trapped inside a flooded house? The water continues to rise and it doesn't let up. The tsunami is relentless. There's no time to think, only to react and try to survive, and those who made it to higher ground watch in horror as the sea steadily engulfs the landscape. Entire neighborhoods are wiped off the map, swallowed whole by the churning waters. Those who didn't evacuate in time are trapped. Those who did find themselves cut off from help as roads become impassable. Power lines snap, sending sparks flying into dry brush, starting fires that no one will be around to put out. The tsunami has transformed the landscape. What was once dry land is now a watery grave. The small town is unrecognizable. All that remains are the shattered remnants of those few structures that didn't get washed away entirely. What started as a small community has become a mass grave. Now we pull back to get a bird's-eye view of the damage wrought by the tsunami. Waves continue to crash into the coastline, slowly but surely reclaiming the land. They surge inland, turning fields and farms into temporary lakes. This is what it looks like from above. Evacuees flee for their lives. Desperation is etched on every face. Every minute that passes, the water level rises a little more. Soon it will be too late to escape. Roads are quickly becoming rivers. Cars abandoned in the face of the inevitable. Some people choose to stay behind. They don't want to abandon their homes, not when there's still time to salvage something from the wreckage. The tsunami is a monster and it's hungry. The first wave may have been a teaser, but this is the main event. Everything in its path will be destroyed. Nothing will remain untouched. The sea is merciless. It gives no quarter. It takes what it wants and leaves nothing but destruction in its wake. But the worst is yet to come. If the first wave was a glancing blow, this is the killing strike. The real power of the tsunami unleashed. With each passing moment, the situation grows more dire. The waves crash into one another, forming a churning mass of water that surges ever inland. Entire cities vanish beneath the waves. It's a scene of utter devastation. Fields are flooded, trees uprooted, buildings crumble and fall. Streets become raging rivers. Vehicles are tossed around like bath toys. Homes are ripped from their foundations and swept away. All that stands against the onslaught are the brave souls who remain behind, clinging to the hope that somehow they will survive. And then it hits. The wave of death. The final wave. It crashes into the city, bringing with it the full force of the tsunami. The water level rises, engulfing everything in sight. People desperately run for higher ground, but there is nowhere to go. The wave is too high, the ground too low. The sea has risen to claim what is rightfully hers. The wave crashes into the city center, sending glass and debris flying through the air. Cars are tossed like toys. Buses like matchsticks. The wave surges through the streets, tearing down power lines and flooding every building in its path. Those who stayed behind brace for impact. We can only hope they made it through. But even if they did, what comes next is a ghost town. The water recedes and the true extent of the damage is revealed. Homes are destroyed, businesses demolished, streets littered with debris. The once proud city is now a scene of utter devastation. The people are gone, either swept away by the water or forced to flee. The only sounds are the wind and the waves crashing against the ruined buildings. The city is a shadow of its former self. Can it ever be rebuilt? Or is it destined to be lost to the sea forever? There are no answers, only questions. We've seen the wave, witnessed its destructive power. Now we wait for the aftermath to unfold. What will become of the people, the city, the country? The answers lie beneath the waves. And now we pan out to get a wider view of the destruction caused by the tsunami. Entire cities are submerged, reduced to watery graves. The once bustling streets are now home to fish and other sea creatures. Buildings and landmarks, symbols of human achievement, are gone, vanished beneath the surface. The wave has reshaped the landscape, leaving behind a mess of twisted metal, shattered glass, and broken dreams. The impact on the UK is catastrophic. Infrastructure is destroyed, economies are shattered, lives are lost. It's a tragedy of epic proportions. But amidst the ruins, there's also hope. People are working together to rebuild their lives. Communities are coming together to support one another. The recovery is slow and painful, but it's happening. The sun shines once more on a changed world. The waves have receded, but the memories remain. The scars of the tsunami will never truly fade, but neither will the spirit of the people. They've endured the impossible and emerged stronger than ever before. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear: they will rebuild. They will honor the dead and move forward together. The world is forever changed, but life goes on. We end our flyover here, panning out to show the entirety of the UK, which is now completely underwater. All that remains are the few structures that were fortunate enough to withstand the initial wave, which itself is a rare sight to behold. The iconic landmarks such as Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, the London Eye, and the Houses of Parliament are all gone, victims of the colossal waves. This was the largest tsunami to ever hit the United Kingdom. There were no survivors. No one could have possibly survived such a cataclysmic event. The once vibrant cities of London, Manchester, Liverpool, and Edinburgh are now resting at the bottom of the ocean, the homes and workplaces of millions permanently submerged. Even the rural areas weren't spared. Entire villages are inundated, their streets transformed into underwater thoroughfares. The country that prided itself on its rich history and culture is now a watery grave, its past buried beneath the waves. But the story doesn't end here, because in the depths of this underwater abyss, new life is beginning to emerge. Schools of exotic fish are already making their homes in the submerged buildings. Corals and other marine life are starting to colonize the sunken landscape. The ocean has reclaimed what was once the United Kingdom, and in doing so, has created a new ecosystem unlike any other. What other AI catastrophes would you like to see? Towns, cities destroyed by Mother Nature? Comment below, most likes, and I'll see what I can do. Thanks for watching.